20 or so years ago, I moved down to Fire Agate Central in southwestern New Mexico, not really knowing that when I moved down here. For some crazy reason, I got stupid and started hunting fire agates. And, myself and a friend spent many hours and many miles hiking out in an area they called Mule Creek. Met an old man named Marvin Ellis who was really into fire agates, was cutting a lot of fire agates, and he kind of gave us a little bit of an indicator on where to look and kind of what to look for. And we spent, like I said, many hours out in the hills and kept bringing stuff back to Marvin, and he kept saying close but no cigar. And this stuff in my hands to give you an idea of the close but no cigar material. A lot of people go out and they'll find material like this and be convinced that they have in fact found fire agate, and in all reality they're real close, but none of this that I'm showing you is fire agate or has fire in it. I have a pile of this on the edge of my driveway that probably weighs 400 pounds. This is a real indicator that you're close. You know, if you're finding this kind of stuff, just keep looking, keep walking around, and eventually 90% of the time you will start finding some fire. Okay, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of insight. If there's hardcore fire agate people out there that want to correct me a little bit, I don't have any problem with that. Fire agate's associated with a rhyolite, and this I'm 99% sure is Slaughter Mountain material. If you'll notice right here, this is really pocky. It's a relatively soft rhyolite. This piece here, it's getting a little bit harder, plus it's got dendrites on it. And the dendrites, you know, they're pretty common with Slaughter Mountain material. This piece had softer rhyolite on it, but it's off of its stone now. Here's probably tumbled. Again, more than likely Slaughter Mountain. And here's another piece of more than likely Slaughter Mountain. If you'll notice, the browns in here are incredibly deep and dark. That's a good indicator of strong potential that there's going to be fire in the stone. If this is light and see-through and kind of translucent, the best you're going to get out of something like that would be what's called ghost fire. Very thin layers, see-through. The interesting thing about Slaughter Mountain is it forms a lot different than the stuff in Mule Creek. It's got just a different formation. I'll show you some Mule Creek here in the next spot in the video. Anyway, that's a super indicator that you're on the right stuff. If you're digging in the dirt, is this decaying rhyolite, soft rhyolite, whatever. If you're in the right areas, you can take a screwdriver to this and get it to start falling apart. Okay, in the last short part of the video I'm working on, I made the statement that I was going to show you some Mule Creek fire agate rough, and I meant Deer Creek. And now I am going to show you some Deer Creek. Again, I'm 90% sure that all of this is Deer Creek, but I'm not going to say I'm 100% sure. You will notice that there's a distinct difference in the look of the material as opposed to the Slaughter Mountain I just showed. And you'll also notice again there's that real deep, dark, almost chocolate brown. Here's another piece. Again, if you look real good, there's only a little tiny area in this whole piece that has potential of being a fire agate, which is typical, which makes you nuts if you cut fire agate. This piece is a little bit translucent in these darker areas, and I'd be inclined to say that there's probably not more than maybe a pinky stone in there, because you can see it a little bit in this corner. Looks like there's fire right there. This piece is a good one to show you again. Deer Creek a lot of times has quartz growing on top of it, and one of the indicators that there's a strong chance of there being some gemmy material in it is there's common opal on the back side of it, which that's what this is, this real pure white looking stuff. Most people don't realize it, but parts of fire agate are associated with the opal family. Again, another piece, nice rich dark brown. I don't know if Greg can get this in the picture, but there's the curved layers in there. That's how fire agate lays out. It's kind of like an onion skin, and that's a pretty good visual showing the curvature of how it lays itself out. And here's a pretty good sized piece, but you know, more than likely on any of these, you know, pieces of fire agate, it's really rare that you'll get a full stone where, you know, it looks like there might be a stone coming all the way around on this one, but there's a chance that you're going to get a stone maybe 3/4 of an inch out of it. You just have to dive in and see what you can see. I'll see if I can scrounge up a few pieces of Mule Creek, thanks to my friend Greg, and then we will do some cobbing.
Actually.
Oh, okay, thanks to Greg, he brought over some Mule Creek material. And you're going to notice again how much different this material looks to the other two locations we showed you. If you look at this, it just kind of looks like a bunch of ugly rocks. You know, it forms different over there. It's a lot like the Mexican material. Let me squirt this a little bit. And typically, it's little pieces. All of this is surface finds. We've yet to find a spot where we can actually dig it out. I know where we know where there's one spot, but unfortunately it's now on some private land that we just don't want to bother the people. It used to be on land of somebody I knew, and they didn't care if we were down there, but now it's owned by some other people. But all of this is just found hiking around out there in the areas where we know to hike, and you just find it on the surface. Hopefully a little bit of this color will show. I've got a real nice one here. Oh, here it is. I think Greg found this first time we went out, maybe not, but that one's got some real nice color, and that's as found. Just a little bit of brush work with some diamond paste, and that's as found, and he just left it as this kind of ugly piece of rock with that real cool spot on it. I personally have yet to find anything that seems real viable for a real nice gem. I have one piece that possibly came out many years ago from over there that a friend of mine cut on for a while, and then I finished it recently. after I get done babbling on this, I'll walk over and grab it, and then we'll do a little bit of a video of it, because if in fact it is from Mule Creek, it gives you a good idea that there's some good stuff out there. Anyway, this stuff, it's completely different. It's not even close to the others. There's no rhyolite. We found two areas out there that had soft rhyolite. One of the areas my friend Jack and myself found early on when we started going out there, and found fire in it, and just kind of discounted it because we thought things were going to be easy. And then, I don't know, 8-10 years later, me and Greg went out there and dug in a little bit more. There's little veins of the chalcedonies going through it, and you know, we popped it open a little bit, and find real thin layers with minor fire in them. And then last time we were out, there was another area that me and Jack found years ago, and Greg and I were out where most of this came from, and we walked down, it's a Jeep track, we walked down it a little bit, and I saw this spot that I had described to Greg, what was a clay pocket. Well, right to the right of that, there was a soft rhyolite face. So as soon as the snow and stuff stops, we'll be going back out there with the hammer drill and such, and see if we can find some, you know, pop that rhyolite open, and hopefully we'll finally find a spot where you can find a real fire agate.
Gotcha.
Okay, I've got a piece here that I'm 50% sure is out of Mule Creek. It was on a very, very large mother rock, and Jack, my friend, worked on it for quite a while, and he'd been out of the country forever. And I showed it to him, and I told him to take his rock, and he said, well, no. Anyway, I finally cut this out of the rock to give you an idea. And if this is Mule Creek material, it proves there's some pretty darn nice fire agates out in them thar hills.